Hi, good afternoon here from Los Angeles. Valerie Milano, the senior editor of the Hollywood Times and also with Aspiring magazine. And I am so thrilled to have our guest here today. I'm going to have her introduce herself. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm Tamar Springer. I am the producer of a short documentary titled More Than Santa Baby. My father is Santa Baby composer Philip Springer. He wrote the classic Christmas song Santa Baby with Joan Javits in 1953. But his career spanned over 75 years. He's still going at it now at 99. And I really felt that the rest of the story needed to be told.
Yes, and you told it very well. You tell it very well. The film is described as a loving tribute to your father. Was it difficult to balance personal emotion with storytelling as a documentarian?
I would say that during the process of making the film, certainly a lot of emotion was evoked in me because I lived this story and there's many ups and downs. And a lot of my life was really defined by my father's career, both his successes and things that would be in the category of goals he didn't achieve, really, which is outlined in the documentary. I don't want to give away too much.
Yes.
I went through a lot of that sadness because there is a sad, unrequited part of his career. And I felt all those feelings during making it. It was there, but it was a necessary part of the process. And it was cathartic in many ways. And it was just part of making this because it really is a true project of the heart.
Gosh, at 99, after losing his home in the Palisades fire, he's still composing. Where do you think that creative fire comes from?
I think he's an incredibly resilient man. Possibly, I don't know if he's more or less, but his resilience is really remarkable because, as you said, my childhood home, his home, burned down in the fire. 3 weeks later, my beloved mother passed away. They were married 68 years. And somehow, this man marches on. He's a soldier and a warrior in life. And as far as music and composing goes, that's who he is. It's not really what he does, it defines him. So I think he has will to live, and that is living for him.
That's so lovely. Your father called himself a living relic of the golden age of American song. You said it a little bit, but what do you think that era meant to him, and how do you see its influence in his work today?
The golden era was his era. He started his career at the iconic Brill Building in New York City, which was both an era and an actual location at 1619 Broadway in New York City. And at that time, this was in the 40s and 50s, and his era was the 40s, 50s, and early 60s. That's where songs were written. That's how music was made. Composers and lyricists got together every day in 9 to 5 fashion. They wrote songs. They then took their songs upstairs to the publishers. Everybody was in the Brill Building. That's how it happened. The Turf restaurant was downstairs. That's where people had lunch and met and made connections. And that was his era. And this was the golden era. For him, that was everything. And when that changed, that really put a curveball in his life. And I don't know that in his mind he ever really got out of that. So in terms of influence today, I think that's where he's lived most of these years, even though throughout his career, he always reinvented himself. He went with the times. You saw the documentary, you know what I'm talking about. And he continued to adapt, but yet he is of that era. That's where his career was birthed. And I think he brought that with him every step of the way until today.
And I know we mourned the loss of the Brill Building. He goes into that a little bit. And your father expressed regret also over never having a Broadway show. Did this documentary feel in any way like fulfilling part of that dream?
My dad did watch the documentary and he was glued to the
Oh, good.
screen. Yeah. And when it was done, he used the word astounding. So I feel that the documentary has really brought a certain feeling of accolade to him that maybe he didn't have before. He knows that the documentary is premiering at TCL Chinese Theater in Hollywood, and that meant so much to him. And I think it certainly helps that feeling of not quite having achieved that Broadway goal. And I hope that the documentary will promote some of the songs that are not known to the public, and maybe something will happen. I really envision a More Than Santa Baby theater show, and like in the vein of Mamma Mia, where there's a story that goes with the songs, something like that. And so I hope that the dream is still alive.
As your father's longtime manager and archivist, how did your relationship with his music change, or did it, once you started shaping it into a cinematic narrative?
I think my relationship with the music deepened because as I was putting everything together, I just continued to realize over and over again how much my father has written. His catalog is vast, his productivity is unbelievable, and there's beautiful songs that he writes, gorgeous melodies. And it's not just me, I am his daughter, but it's true. So I think the relationship deepened because I continue to remember, oh, this song, oh, this song, oh my God, this song is gorgeous. And I got a lot in, but there's even a handful that I didn't get in that are beautiful that I would have. I think it just, my respect for him grew, and it was really validating for me that I was doing this documentary because the music really merits it.
Just have so much I want to talk to you about, and we have so little time. But were there any moments while filming that felt almost too personal or emotional to include? And if so, how did you navigate that?
I think the part of the documentary that was personal and difficult was what I called Act 2A when I was developing the documentary and the outline of how I envision the story, how to tell the story. And Act 2A really in my mind is the conflict. If you think about 3-act structure, and that means the difficult part of the story, the sad part of the story, where my father was continuing to, in a way, try to recreate the Brill Building years later and was still seeking that Broadway show or a show. And it's hard to reveal the pain of that because I think the documentary shows that pain. And I do think that audiences will feel that pain. And that's a very vulnerable place to be, to expose that. But it was necessary to tell this story authentically.
So, aside from all that, I'm just curious, do you have a favorite recording of Santa Baby outside, of course, the original with Eartha Kitt?
Okay, honestly, I really can't say I do because they're all wonderful, and I am so grateful, and I know my father is grateful, us as a family. We're just grateful for every one of the artists that has recorded it, including the biggest names on the planet and people whose names may not be as recognized. We are so grateful that Santa Baby continues to be the worldwide classic, beloved song that it is. So I don't have a favorite. I love them all.
Yes, I do too, actually. And I have really strived to listen to all of them. So fantastic. Tamar, how can our readers and our viewers find out more about you, about any work you might be doing, and more about the film? Social media or website? What?
Yes to all of those. There's a website for the documentary now, which is morethansanababyfilm.com. We have an Instagram, which is at Santa Baby Composer with the blue check. My Facebook page, Tamar Springer, is I use it mostly to make announcements about the documentary, the catalog, the history, keeping the legacy alive. Once in a while, I'll throw something in there about my kid or one of my kids or something, or karate, something like that, or pickleball. But those platforms are the best. And if people have any questions, I'm happy to hear from them in DMs or notes.
All right. Wonderful, Tamar. It's so great to meet you virtually and hope to meet you in person over there at the TCL Chinese Theater. So when is it going to show? When is it going to play there?
It's this Monday, June 23rd, 4:45 p.m. It's in documentary block 2 that day. And you can buy tickets on the Dances with Films website.
Yes, all that will be in the article as well. And we're the Hollywood Times. Today is our website, and the Hollywood Times Official is our YouTube channel. And thank you, and thank your father. This film, I want to encourage everybody to come out and see it. So yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.